Hey guys, how you doing? It's Lon from the ECOM zone, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how I generate over £4 million from my dropshipping store. And in my first year I generated around over $1 million. So as you can see here, I'm going to change the time frame from 2020 to 2021. And as you can see, I started my store January 2021, and we just slowly scaled our store. And I say we because I started my store with my girlfriend. We're still together, we still run the store together, and it's been a journey. So you can see here we scaled to around 70, 80k, 90, 80, and 180k for Black Friday or Q4 basically. And this is where a lot of people buy, and that's the best time to run ads. I know a lot of people say it's one of the worst times to run ads because it's really competitive and everyone's running ads. But the thing is, everyone is buying in Q4, so it's literally the best time to run ads. And so I have this flow chart here that you guys can follow, and we're going to go through this entire flow chart and how you could just follow it step by step and generate $1 million in your first year of dropshipping. So on our first column we have research, second column building, third column marketing, and fourth column admin. So the first step is, what is dropshipping? Well, dropshipping is a fulfillment method where you do not keep the products on hand. Instead, when a customer places an order on your store, you'll purchase this item from a third-party supplier, which is usually AliExpress, who will then ship your products directly to your customers. So it's pretty simple, it's just a fulfillment method for e-commerce. And the first thing you're gonna do is choose a niche. Now I know there are 3 different types of stores out there that you can set up, which is either a niche store, general store, or one product store. But the method that I like to teach is starting up a branded niche dropshipping store, where you're finding products that relate to one specific niche and theme, so that when your ideal demographics go to your store, they know it's for them. So you're not trying to create a generic store that looks like another Amazon where you're just putting all sorts of junk products on your store. You really want to create this branded experience for your customers. And that is how you stand out from the crowd in 2025. So you want to brainstorm your niches and sub niches, whether this is on paper or Miro flowchart. And you just want to write down niches that you can resonate with and where you think you have a good chance of taking a pie from the market. So you do not want to choose niches where you have no interest in. For example, I started a makeup store whilst running my main store, and it was just not working. I had no interest in this store. I didn't know what the uses for each makeup brush. I didn't know like what they were good for, the benefits, etc. And I had just no interest in sourcing ad creatives for these makeup brushes and stuff like that. And even though other people were crushing it, I just couldn't do it because it takes a lot of willpower to do something that you're not interested in. So you also want to pick a theme for your niche. For example, if you want to go into men's clothing, that's your niche, but you want to theme down. So a good example is if you want to sell gothic clothes, that's a theme for a specific niche, which is like clothing but for gothic. And so your demographics would be like emo, goth people, and sort of that grungy vibe. And you also want to avoid niches like the beauty niche because one is very expensive, and two, it's so saturated. Like there's so many skincare products out there that you'll be having a hard time competing against them. And third, how can you trust like skincare products on AliExpress? It just doesn't work unless you have like a private supplier with private labeled skincare products. And the second niche I would avoid is baby niche because you're treading on thin water with like the materials, hurting babies, allergies, and all that stuff. So I wouldn't go to babies. Fitness. Fitness is a good niche, but the problem with fitness niche is that there's not enough new products on AliExpress that will stand out from the crowd. Now, they may be creating new products, but there are alternative products out there already, and that's why they're still saturated products. For example, they may just keep creating new massage guns, but massage guns have been around for like 5 years now. And the last niche I would not go into is electronics because they break down too easily. So I had a subscriber who found like a hair straightener on AliExpress, And it worked really well for the first 3 goes. 4th, 5th go, it broke down. So that's why I stay far from electronics. And even if you think you found a winning electronic product which is high quality, you just never know when it will break down. So next is finding your products for your niche. So let's just say your brainstorm tree has 5 niches on it now. Now it's time to find the products for those niches. You want to try to find 10 to 50 products for each one. Of course, you don't need to find 50 products for each sub niche. Usually you get an idea of which niche you want to go down once you start finding the products. Because sometimes you can't find products for the niches you picked, and so you have to scrap that niche. And some niches you might find an abundance of products on AliExpress. So it just depends on how many products you find and if you think they have potential to sell. You want to save these products to Google Sheets. Literally just copy the link from AliExpress over to Google Sheets, so at least you have a place where all your products are there. You want to avoid selling cheap products below $50. So for example, on AliExpress, if it costs like $3, I wouldn't sell those products because they're just simply too cheap. And for you to mark it up, yes, maybe you could sell it for like $30, which is a big markup. If you can, it's great, but still, when you're running ads and you're selling something for $30, it's very hard to profit from it. You may break even or you may make a little bit of profit each day, but the best thing you can do is actually find products above that $50 value so that when you run your ads and you make sales, you're making bigger profit margins per sale. You also want to research the market. So these 3 goes hand in hand. It's not like a step by step. They actually just all fit into each other. And you want to research the market and see if there's a gap in the market for you to actually take a pie from that market. If it's just too saturated and everyone is selling the products on Amazon, on Google, and you can find it anywhere like down the road, then I would probably not sell those products. You need to also ask yourself, how much demand is there for your niche? Is the demand dying on Google Trends? Is it rising? How is that demand looking like on Google Trends? And you can also figure out market demand just by going on social media and seeing what's trending on social media. So for example, if you wanted to go into home decor and you wanted to find out which theme is trending in home decor, like say Scandinavian, minimalist, a certain color, you could find that out and then see which theme is actually in trend right now. So once you found your niche, your products, and your market, it's now time to build your website. So I would suggest building your website with Shopify because it's just an easy to use tool for anyone, whether you're a beginner at coding or designing or you're intermediate or advanced. It's just perfect for anyone. And there are thousands of apps you can install on Shopify that can help you boost your conversion rates, help you boost your sales. So I have a Shopify affiliate link here, and the first 3 months is £1 each. That means you could use Shopify for 90 days for £3 only. And that's the cheapest it's ever been, so do take advantage of that code. And guys, I only get paid from this link if you make money. So it's like a win-win situation. I need to help you guys make sales and then I get paid by the affiliate link. So just leaving that out there. And the next step you want to do is install DSers, which is a fulfillment app, and there is a free forever plan. So even if you use my affiliate link, but you're on the free forever plan, I do not get paid. And you can actually just stick to the free forever plan. However, as you start getting sales, you probably want to switch over to the next paid plan, which is like $19 per month. And the reason for this is because you're going to need to send a tracking number to your customers, and DSers does that for you. So DSers is just a fulfillment app. They're not actually your suppliers, so you don't actually find your suppliers on DSers. You actually have to go to AliExpress to find your suppliers. You then use this app to import your products from AliExpress to Shopify, and you also use this app to fulfill your orders. So next, once you've installed DSers on your Shopify store, you want to import your products to DSers. So install the DSers Chrome extension so that it makes the importing process easier and faster. You then want to load up all the products you found from Google Sheets. Just open all them links up, and then you want to start importing all those products from AliExpress into DSers. And so now your DSers account should have all your products imported from AliExpress. However, that doesn't mean it's on your store yet. So once it's on DSers, you then need to import those products to your Shopify store. So you want to make sure the name is finalized before you import the products to your store. The reason for this is so that you don't have to fiddle around with the URL, because once you import a product from DSers to Shopify, it will keep that product name as the URL. So if you're keeping the product name as what AliExpress gave it, which is probably like a 30-word name, that's the URL for that product, and you do not want that. So make sure you change the name and make sure to select all the photos you like before you import the product to Shopify. This is so that when you import the product to Shopify, all the photos of the product is on your Shopify product page. You then also want to order samples once you've finalized your products, because you need to test the quality, you need to check the shipping times, although shipping times are roughly around 5 to 10 business days, and usually it's that time frame because all the suppliers on AliExpress uses AliExpress standard shipping, which is the logistics that AliExpress uses, and it's basically their own logistics, and that's why it's 5 to 10 business days across the board, and usually to most countries. You also want to check the packaging that your product arrives in, and you can also take this chance to film ad creatives for your adverts and start creating organic content for your socials. Next, you want to create your brand. Now, I'm a brand designer back in the day, that's why I love talking about branding, and I suggest you create your own brand, because if you want to stand out from the crowd in 2025, you really need to create a brand that people can resonate with and they feel like they're shopping at a branded store. You want to come up with a logo. You don't want it too complex. If you don't know how to design logos, go on Canva and you quickly create one, but also learn from YouTubers who design brands. You then want to create the fav icon for your website, which is just a simple logo that sits on the Chrome tabs. You then want to choose a primary color and secondary colors. You don't want to go too wacky with them. You kind of want to just choose neutral colors. And then you want to choose the typography for your headers and paragraph. Now, if you don't know what typography or fonts to use, again, just Google common fonts for e-commerce websites for dog niche, and then it will just spit out all the best fonts you can use for your headers and paragraph. So building your website. You want to find 5 stores to get inspiration from. Of course, you could find more, and they don't have to be dropshippers and they don't have to be in your niche. You can find some that's not in your niche and you can find some that's in your niche. And that way you get inspiration from a wide selection. You want to stick to white backgrounds if you're not good at designing. I've seen too many stores out there where some of you guys are using black background stores and they do not work, especially if you're not a designer. It just comes out terrible. So yeah, stick to the white background or really light cream background for certain vibes. You also want to focus on mobile first design, because when you're running ads, majority of your customers will be coming from mobile. You also want to learn UX UI design. So UX stands for user experience and UI stands for user interface. And that will just help you design a well-made professional website. And then focus on your product pages, because that's where your customers are going to land on. That's the last page they're probably going to see before they either leave your website or add your product to their cart. You then also want to add all your policy pages to your website. Next, install these apps. So Klaviyo for your emails, Yotpo for SMS, Aftership for your tracking, JudgeMe for importing reviews from AliExpress and also collecting reviews, and SEO related apps so that they can actually optimize your images, optimize alt tags, etc. So there are a bunch of apps out there that you could check out for SEO related apps, and yeah, just find out what works best for you. Next, you also want to set up the shipping and markets, because if you don't, people can't check out on your website. So make sure you set up your markets and then set up your shipping locations and the settings for the countries you want to ship to. So that's usually like US, UK, Canada, Australia, Germany, France, and a few other countries in Europe like Spain, Portugal, Netherlands, etc. Before we move on to step 3, which is marketing, I have a playlist of all my videos in order so you can learn how to dropship like in order. You don't need to go anywhere else. So here's my playlist. And if you don't know how to find my playlist, you literally go onto my channel, go to playlist, and then click free dropshipping course. So once you're on the free dropshipping course, on the right hand side here, you can see all my videos in order. So it talks about what you should avoid as beginners. You got the guides at the beginning, skills that you should develop, niches, how to find products, what you should use for fulfillment apps, how to add products from AliExpress to Shopify, how to build your website, policy pages, apps here, so Klaviyo, SMS Bump, your Yotpo, and then learning about how to create video ads, learn about meta ad setup, strategies, optimization, etc. And then finances, like how to fulfill orders, how to export AliExpress orders and stuff like that. So these are most of my videos in order, so you can literally learn dropshipping in order. It's totally free. So back to my flowchart, stage 3, which is marketing. Because once you create a website, you need to market your website. Otherwise, you're just not going to get sales. So you also want to set up your social pages when you're building your store so they go hand in hand together. You want to create your Instagram page, Facebook business page, TikTok page, Pinterest, and also create a business manager on Meta so you can start running Facebook ads. And yes, when you run ads on Meta, it will go to Facebook and Instagram. So next we want to start posting on socials, and you want to post engaging and funny content on your social pages where you promote sharing and commenting. That is how you go viral, because Instagram loves users sharing their content. So that's what you want. You want to create content where people want to share your posts. You do not want to post product related photos because they're just boring and no one really sends them. You want to focus on posts that people want to share and do not pay for fake followers. A good way to understand what's working in your niche, what you want to do is find top trending pages within your niche and see what they're posting and then replicate. Another good way is finding content from like TikTok and YouTube and then just reposting them on your social media. Next is planning your ad creatives, because this is where the money's going to be made and is a very important task. Because if you don't plan for your ad creatives, when it comes to actually executing your ad creatives, it's just going to be junk because you haven't planned for it. So you want to ask yourself, does your product need videos to sell your product? Because some products you could just have an image or carousel for Facebook ads and they'll sell. But some products it needs a bit of explanation, is unique, it's never been seen before, then you need a video for it. So if you do need a video, you're gonna need to study content creation and scripting, because without these two, how can you create ad creatives? You want to find inspiration for your ad creatives, and I use Facebook Ad Library and TikTok Ad Creative Center. You also want to learn about visual hooks, learn about what audio people use, learn about text hooks as well. And yeah, you just want to get better at creating videos overall. Next is creating your ad creatives. So there's a few ways for you to actually source your ad creatives. You don't have to film it yourself. You can actually outsource it to UGC content creators on Fiverr, and they usually cost around $50 to $200, and I tested around the $50 to $100 range, and they're pretty good. Just make sure you send your script and visual hooks to them, otherwise they just don't know what to film for you. You're also going to have to send your products to them as well. You could also find micro influencers on TikTok or Instagram and send them the product in exchange for a video. But with this method here, you can't really give too much guidance because you're not paying them. Of course, if you are paying them, then you can actually give guidance. So you could also ask family and friends to help you film, or you can film it yourself. These two are a bit more difficult because it's very hard to plan for these, especially if your friends are busy, you're busy, or the lighting's not good, or the environment's not good. You can also find videos online that hasn't been created by other people, but it's just generic videos of the product, and you can mix and match them together. You can use CapCut to edit your videos, or you can use Premiere Pro. Next, you want to launch your test campaigns after you've gathered all your ad creatives. You want to launch your first campaign on Meta Ads Manager at $50 a day per campaign, and I have plenty of videos that go through this. You basically want to test your creatives and ad copy to multiple markets, and you're trying to find the winning formula here. You don't need to wait 7 days for this campaign to run. Literally just let it run for 2 full days and then optimize. You also want to test both broad vs interest ad sets. Next, you want to optimize your ads. So aim for a cost per click of less than $1, because at the end of the day, that's what you're paying for. So let's just say your cost per click is $1. That means it's costing you $100 for 100 visitors to go to your website. And that's very expensive, unless you have a high average order value product. You want to also aim for your add to cart rate to be more than 4%, and then your conversion rate to be around 1 to 2%. This also depends on your average order value and your industry. So as I mentioned before, the beauty industry is very, very expensive. Your cost per click can be as high as like $5 because it's just the industry you're in. And as for your average order value, if your average order value is like $80 or $100, your cost per click can go slightly higher because of how much profit you make from your sales. So next is scaling your ads. You scale your ads with CBO campaigns, and you can also scale your ads within your ABO campaigns. And if you don't know what they are, basically I have videos that go through them. You also want to increase budgets by 10 to 50% every 2 to 3 days, and just keep monitoring your ad campaigns. You want to continue to test new creatives and angles even when you're scaling, so that if your previous ad starts to die out, you're constantly testing for new ones and finding new winners. And so that is marketing. And the next stage is admin work. Because once you start making sales, then the admin work comes in on top of all the other stuff you need to do, like optimizing ads, creating ads, creating ad creatives, uploading more products, etc. So the first things first is responding to emails, because your customer is going to email you, right? So make sure you set up your Gmail account and you respond to your customers within 24 hours. Now, if you want, you can use ChatGPT to respond to your customers, and that's what I use too. Just make sure that you read through the responses and you just touch them up a little. You then want to use Trello to save common replies, so you don't have to keep typing up the same replies to your customers. Next, you want to set up your finance template so you can keep track of your profit and loss and cash flow. And I use Google Sheets to keep track of mine. It's not the most accurate thing in the world, but it is fairly accurate. The only thing that's not really accurate is the fees per order. So you want to track your income, track your outgoings, track your expenses, track your cost of goods, and track your profit and loss. So you can find the two templates on my website here. If you just scroll down, helpful resources, you got a macro for your Shopify orders, and you also got a finance template. And these two cost £9.99 each, and you could use it for a lifetime to track your finances. Like honestly, it's the cheapest thing ever. And next, you also want to So next is when you start fulfilling orders, because you're starting to see customers purchase from your website, which is great news. So once you receive an order, use DSers to fulfill your order. You don't fulfill it on Shopify, you go to DSers and you click the order button. Now, if you don't know this process, I also have a video on this too. So do check out that video. You also want to pay for the order on AliExpress every time you order something on DSers, because it doesn't automatically get paid. You then enter these figures onto your finance sheet on Google Sheets, so you could keep track of your cost of goods and your sales. Now, some daily tasks that you need to do is finding more products for your store. You want to optimize your funnel and your ads. You also want to review your ad metrics twice a day. You don't want to review it any more than that. You really need to just give your ads some time to optimize. You also want to continue to plan and shoot content for more ad creatives. and you want to schedule posts on socials. Now, some of you guys may be wondering how many posts should you post on socials. It really doesn't matter. You could post 5 a day if you wanted. You could post 10 a day. If you can keep that up, then great. Post that money. And that, guys, is how I generated over $1 million for my dropshipping business in my first year. Literally this flowchart. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel for more content, and peace.